Good afternoon, everybody. It's July 20th, 2024. I'm going to discuss a topic that I wrote about a few years back. And I'm going to read it to you guys and then provide some of the updates on it. So this was when I had my blog. I guess I started in 2011. And it's entitled Families and Pets in Distress, Part 1. So, I write as follows. And of course, now it just totally disappeared. Okay, here it is. In recent weeks, many people have contacted me about the subject of their pets. Their inquiries were not about what they can do to care for their pets during an economic or perceived hardships, but how to find an animal shelter, or if I quote-unquote knew anyone who would take their beloved pet for quote-unquote reasons beyond their control. Yeah, these are the words that people say, for which no one would disclose. The rationalizations and justifications for surrendering a pet are rather sickening. We live in a disposable society and a mindset. So many people is that when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. By that I mean, whatever people don't want to deal with, be responsible for, they simply discard, including living, breathing, sentient beings, our beloved fur babies. The topic of surrendering a pet is highly charged, at least for me. Animals are not disposable objects. They're not a piece of trash or a piece of garbage. They're not a used paper cup. They're not the latest designer fad to be discarded and replaced tomorrow. They're not objects to abuse and use. They are living, breathing, feeling, and acutely sensitive beings with feelings of attachment to their owners. I mean, you've probably even seen videos of dogs being abused, and they'll wait in front of the home that they're being abused. The families abandon them, and they'll wait there in the rain and the snow for their owner to return. They're so loyal. Cats and dogs feel distress when separated from those they love and who are familiar to them. They feel distress when separated from other animals that they grew up in proximity with and are familiar with. They feel depressed and anxious, yet they recover from a physical move when they are considered in that move. Yet so many insensitive and selfish individuals leave their pets behind when they move. Many are dumped on the street, in the woods, or in a box on a busy highway to fend for themselves. Out of sight, out of mind is their mindset. Ignorance is bliss, but not for that pet. One who often only knows the comfort of a warm home, a dish of full food, a cozy bed, and human contact. This abandonment is absolutely devastating. Dogs and cats become depressed and emotionally despondent. They may be forced to succumb to environmental elements, the cold, the heat, and rain. They're subjected to traffic, cars, unkind people, and wild animals. Their once healthy immune system becomes compromised, predisposing the pet to illness and disease. Many become sick, develop ear and eye infections, starve, or die. Even in a shelter or in the hands of a quote-unquote high kill shelter that euthanizes pet on a weekly basis to make room for more. These types of shelters will be discussed in another part of this series. It is my understanding that the average cat may live up to 18 to 22 years, while the average dog's lifespan is approximately 12 years. Some breeds live as few as 6 years, while other breeds may live 15 to 20 years. Some cats and dogs, like humans, are simply predisposed to live shorter lives. When an individual adopts a cute little kitten or puppy, they often do so on a whim or impulse with little understanding about the long-term commitment and responsibility required. Kittens are fun, little fur balls. However, kittens grow from kittenhood into adulthood, just as an infant moves through toddlerhood through the school years. Little puppies grow into larger dogs. These developmental changes are natural, yet people who adopt kittens and puppies often lack the awareness that their responsibilities for that cute pet changes over time. Adopting a cat or a dog means taking those responsibilities seriously for the life of that pet in sickness and in health. How many animals enter a shelter each year? And how many are euthanized? Now, I'm going to read you the statistics from 2011 when I wrote this, and then I pulled up the statistics that are more recent. The Humane Society of the United States, HSUS, estimates that animal shelters care for 6 to 8 million dogs and cats each year in the United States, of whom approximately 3 to 4 million are euthanized. At this time, there's no central data reporting agency for animal shelters, so these numbers are estimates. However, the Asilomar Accords method is gaining momentum as a standard for more accurately tracking these numbers. Animal statistics for approximately 150 shelters across the country are posted at, and I haven't checked this, www.asilomarrecords.org. You can help them develop a more accurate picture of the problem by encouraging your local shelters to report their data. Now, this was according to the Humane Society back in 2011. Why are so many pets surrendered to shelters? Or worse, dumped in the street? And I'm going to tell you because I composed this based upon my experience as having rescued cats since I'm a child and having formed a 501c3 nonprofit cat rescue, Freya's Cat Rescue, in 2012. Okay, number one is a physical move, a relocation. People leave their pets behind. This is an epidemic. It's actually getting worse because many people are not able to bring their pets with them to their new home. A lot of supers and landlords and property owners will not allow pets. And sometimes when they do allow pets, they expect a pet fee on a monthly basis. Like back in Manalapan, New Jersey, I know a friend of mine, she had a cat, and she was paying $50 a month to have a cat. Yeah, I kid you not. $50 a month to have a pet. Number two. Now, this one is huge. This one is so huge, and it's the biggest excuse on the planet. The person suddenly becomes allergic. This could be years after adopting the pet or having the pet. Number three, they don't want the pet anymore. It can be for any reason imaginable. Four, too much work. It's an inconvenience, responsibility. They're annoyed with the pet. Five, the cost. This will be discussed in greater detail below and in a future blog. 7, marriage, new partner. Now, me, I use the LIFO method. Last in, first out. Easy. You get the boyfriend, they're the last one in, they're the first one out. If anybody, a husband, a wife, a future boyfriend, does not want your pet, well, who goes? They go. Because it's like, love me, love my kid, love me, love my pet. If you don't want to love me for my pets, you can go bye-bye. Number 9, current spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend doesn't want or like it. 10, hoarding situations. This is a real thing. Some of the hoarding situations have to do with people breeding pets for money, for profit, and they don't know what the hell they're doing. 11, the death of a human caregiver. This is very serious because so many people do not place the care of their pets in their will. And I know for a fact because my mother placed every damn thing in her will except her cat. She just made the assumption that I would take the cat. And I would take the cat, except that her partner wanted the cat. And then when her partner went into a nursing home, his family made the decision to get rid of the cat that belonged to my mother that I wanted. Yes, it was horrible. It was a horrible thing. So please put your pets in your will. Lost and found. Now this is very serious. Pets do get lost, especially dogs, especially during certain holidays. And this I've mentioned before. When there are fireworks around, people throwing IEDs on the property, it upsets all of the animals. I heard, this is just through the grapevine, that a bear was roaming around here after the 4th of July because all the stupid people around here were blowing up the block. And yeah, they might be thinking that they're harassing me, but they don't think that there are woods and there are animals living back there that have given birth to babies. But they don't care because they're ignorant morons. They're just out to harass one person, not thinking about anything else. So yeah, there was a bear roaming around the town, right here. Nobody told me about it until after the fact. But I knew why that bear was roaming around, because it was interrupted, it was harassed, was scared. Animals do get lost and then they get found. Sometimes they get found by the wrong person. Sometimes they get found by somebody blocks away. Back at when there was Hurricane Sandy in New Jersey, oh, it was horrible. Back by the ocean, there were pets. People had to abandon their homes and they left their pets behind because they couldn't find them. Well, you know, pets are smarter than humans. They always find the best spots to hide. Well, 9 months later, a cat who had disappeared, they'd looked everywhere for this cat, just came strolling back and went back to the same backyard, back porch or whatever, and just started hanging out there again. So pets do get lost. They get lost and found, and could be years later. Animals are number 13. Animals are used in fights or as bait and then rescued. Well, lo and behold, welcome to Kentucky. Yeah, they like to rooster fight here, but they rooster fight in Texas and all other places. In fact, if you want to see how animals are used in fights, just go to the bullfights, right? What do they do in a bullfight? It's horrible. It's disgusting. It's criminal. But yeah, that's what happens in uncivilized communities. They fight animals for fun. They think it's fun. Number 14, jealousy of a pet by a new partner. This is amazing. But partners get jealous of your kids too. So yes, so this is why some people abandon their pets, because their new partner is jealous of the pet. 15, the pet is sick. The pet may have a cold, a skin rash, but rather than treat it, they simply dispose of the animal to become more ill. 16, oh, this is huge. I get contacted for this all the time. Women become pregnant. They have a birth of a child. So perhaps your parents should have disposed of you when your little brother or sister arrived on the scene. But no, they think that they should get rid of their pet when the new baby arrives. Note, the average cost to feed a dog, now this again is 2011, was 67 cents per day, while the cost to feed a cat was only 44 cents per day. Now I'm going to say it's more likely for a dog, it's more likely about $1.25, and for a cat it's probably $1 a day, literally. While considering these costs, let's discuss the daily spending habits of many people, at least where I live. For comparison's sake, the average woman spends between $20 and $50 every other week or twice a month on her nails, her manicures, her pedicures. Oh, yeah, back in Manalapan, New Jersey, women always get their nails and feet done. It costs less than $14 a month to feed a cat. Yet many will give up the cat because they can't afford it, rather give up the unnecessary manicure. What about the millions of cups of coffee purchased on the way to work at the local Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts on a weekly basis? Most people spend approximately $2, well, that's way more than that, $2 for their morning cup of Java, yet they're happily surrender their pet because of their quote-unquote economic situation. That daily cup of coffee ends up costing more than $10 a week, but could feed a dog or a cat for 15 days. Shall we discuss the cost of a pack of cigarettes or a bottle of beer or alcoholic beverage? I'll bet the same people hovering over the bar during happy hour each week are also moaning about the cost of feeding their pet, while feeding their addiction instead. Seriously, folks, I'm not even going to go there. Denial is a nice, fuzzy, warm blanket. Later in this series, the reasons people surrender or abandon pets, as indicated above, will be expanded upon to provide insight and guidance into prevention. I will also share the cost-effective methods for both feeding and caring for your pet. In the meantime, for those of you on Facebook, there are many groups that care for animals. Many shelters across the country have a Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube channel, and you can donate there. You can adopt a pet. Each pet is photographed with data of their surrender, their age, their name if known, breed, location. Sometimes with every click on a photo, points are offered and accumulated, at least in the algorithms. For fellow bloggers, there are widgets that you can place on your blog to draw attention to pets in need. Let me see. Lastly, I'm grateful for all the new rescue friends, both men and women, who devote time on a daily basis to saving cats and dogs on Facebook. The work they do is phenomenal, and it is because of them the devastated lives of these saddened pets are improved and even saved. And I want to say that back in 2011, I joined a group called Save a Cat and Save a Dog. And all it took was clicking on the image of the cat, and points would be donated. And we formed groups. And I'm still friends with some of these people that formed those groups, and they were from all over the world to save animals here in the United States. Then there was Pets on Death Row. The kill shelter, the High Kill Shelter, the New York City Animal Shelter. I rescued 4 cats from Pets on Death Row. And 2 of them I still have. Actually, all these years later, 2 of them were unalived by the perpetrators, the criminals. But there are animals in every shelter. And ironically, all of those breeders out there that are breeding cats and dogs for profit, you think that they're going to a good home. You think that because they're paying thousands of dollars for a designer cat or designer dog, that it will never be abandoned. That could not be further from the truth. There are more designer dogs and cats in animal shelters than you have any idea to wrap your mind around. Pets are dumped here on my property all the time. Unfortunately, one of them attacked me. That's a story for another day. It's already on my YouTube channel. That was a controlled demolition. That's right. It's called weapons testing. Right here in Jackson County, Kentucky. They like to target people for profit and weapons testing. That was no cat bite on my arm, by the way. That triangle? Yeah, somebody reported that video, so I had to remove the photo. Anybody that wants to see the triangle that was cut by a laser during my cat attack, email me at alternativehomesteading@gmail.com. I'm happy to show you. Everybody I've showed said, no cat did that. Of course not. The cat didn't do it. The cat did scratch up my legs pretty badly. I'm pretty sure for that. It also scratched up my pants. I had to throw them away. But the fact that on that day I was wearing a long sleeve compression shirt and a big thick hoodie, like exactly the one I'm wearing today. But there were no holes in that sweatshirt or shirt. Just a huge triangle underneath it. Baffles the mind. No, it doesn't baffle the mind anymore. It's amazing, the technology that's out there. They don't want you to know about it. But anyway, this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. Oh, wait 1 minute. I wanted to pull up the statistics for today. Okay, so we just compared. I'm sorry about that. So now, the Humane Society, the SPCA, their generic terms, right? Approximately 6.3 million companion animals enter the U.S. shelters nationwide every year. Of those, approximately 3.1 are dogs, and 3.2 million are cats, more cats than dogs. We estimate the number of dogs and cats entering the U.S. shelters annually has declined from 7.2 million in 2001. And that was the biggest decline in dogs, from 3.9 million to 3.1 million. Each year, approximately 920,000 shelter animals are euthanized. 390K dogs and 530,000 cats. The number of dogs and cats euthanized in U.S. shelters annually has declined since 2011. This decline can be partially explained by an increase in the percentage of animals adopted and an increase in the number of strays and animals successfully returned to their owners. Approximately 4.1 million shelter animals are adopted each year. 2 million dogs and 2.1 million cats. About 810,000 animals who enter shelters as strays are returned to their owners. And of those, 710,000 are dogs and 100,000 are cats. But I want to tell you, folks, that of those cats, and they don't have it posted here, that are adopted, you have no idea how many are returned. So anyway, on that note, please leave a comment down below. And if you're a targeted person, yes, adopt a shelter animal. It is better to have them in your care than in a shelter that's going to unalive them. Of course, nobody wants to have your animal tortured and stuff, but for whatever time that you have that animal, you will be providing them love and attention, and they will be forever grateful. Please hit the thumbs up, share the message. And this is Lorraine signing off for now.